All right, so one question that comes up all the time is how can I make spelling stick? And the challenge that we face is students that appear to learn a list of words, for example, for a spelling test on a Friday, and a week or two later, they can't remember how to spell those words. Or at least the spelling is not fluent. So when they're writing texts in the classroom, they're not using those words correctly. So that means that those words haven't been committed to long-term memory. Now, committing things to long-term memory can be a really tricky process. In terms of spelling, I want you to think of it as anchor points, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an analogy with my fabulous drawing of the brain again. All right, don't judge me. So let's say we have a really simple word like the word dog. There's actually not any other ways that you can write dog. D, there's only the letter D. O is the most common way of writing O, and then we have G. Okay, so there's not many choices. So that's only a little word. So we don't really need many anchor points to make that one stick. Well, now it's not going to stick, is it? Okay, so that one sticks quite well. But as words become longer and more complex, we actually need to have more anchor points. So if you think about it like the glue on the back of this piece of paper, the bigger and more complex the word gets, the more glue we need to help it stick inside the brain. So we need to understand the sounds. We need to understand the patterns. We need to understand what other words might belong in that group. We need to potentially understand any meaningful parts, which we call morphemes. There'll be more on that later. We need to understand maybe the meaning, the root of that particular word. So the more we can understand about a word and the more anchor points we have, the more likely that word is going to stick. Now, that took quite a bit of time to put that glue on that piece of paper. And that's what we call elaborative rehearsal. It takes time and practice, but not just blindly kind of rewriting the word many times. It's thinking about all of those little gluey points about that word and practicing and strengthening all of those anchor points. Because if we don't do that and we just try and remember the word, well, it's not going to stick for very long. See? And the bigger the word gets, the more complex it gets, the more time we have to spend gluing that word into our memory. And the way we do that is by understanding spelling. So here's the thing. Learning to spell is not about remembering. It's about understanding and building knowledge about how the words work. And if you get that little distinction, it's going to really transform your pedagogy. Good luck sticking.